Good morning, classmates. I'm here with local Gainesville legend Tom Miller, performance artist, regular artist, bartender, class attender, and band member, right? And he will be my interviewee on these topics. So, Tom Miller, is there anything you'd like to introduce yourself further as? Or did I think I got it all?
No, Tom Miller, performance artist.
Performance artist. That's all I need to say. So, this will be edited. Don't feel conscious about the way you answer questions. I want you to answer them as you interpret them. Ask for clarification if needed. And but this is going to be heavily edited anyway to make you look bad.
Good.
So let's just get started.
Excellent.
First things first. How old are you?
47.
47. And how old do you feel?
I don't really think that way, but if I had to pick an age, I don't know, I feel about 25 maybe.
Alright, good. That's perfect for what I'm getting into then. What is the highest level of education that you've completed, and are you currently in any sort of scholastic program right now?
Yes, I'm a student of non-traditional age at Santa Fe Community College, about to finish my AA.
In?
Theater.
Very good. Do you have an occupation right now, or do you consider yourself a student?
Full-time student, performance artist, band member, painter, activist. That's about it. I don't get paid for most of that.
Okay. Well then, I'll get into some questions now about when you were younger then.
Okay.
This is a project on lifelong learning, so we're interested in how you learn now and how you've kept learning throughout your life. So to better answer that question, I'd like to ask you, how did you learn best when you were in your 20s, or maybe a little younger? What kinds of teachings helped you best? What kinds of activities helped you best, if at all?
It's always been a combination of just things I pick up from talking to interesting and intelligent people, and then, you know, whatever scholastic things I was doing, you know. I mean, if you're asking me about the difference between then and now, I mean, now that I'm going to school as an older person, I mean, I bring life experience to bear on the education that I'm getting. So it's not just me being sort of fed and programmed one train of thought and not applying some critical thinking to what I'm being told. And I think when you get older, you're not afraid to speak up about things and ask probing and interesting questions. So I think you get more out of learning maybe going back to school as an adult. But that's just a thought, because I've done both.
And you say your education is more rich and rewarding now than it was when you were younger.
Well, yeah, because I really know why I'm there, and I'm focused on it, and I pay attention to it, and I notice that a lot of, you know, not to criticize younger people because they...
Oh, go ahead. The younger people are watching this video.
Well, good. Hi. But, no, younger people have a certain kind of enthusiasm and excitement and energy that they bring to education. But, you know, we're in a multitasking world of gadgetry and...
digital cameras.
Yeah, people just don't seem to have the ability to really sit down and absorb something in great depth and detail and with focus. I find a lot of people miss a lot of class, text during class, don't have the very basic protocols of just simply respecting your professor for the 1 hour that people are in class, and it's a little depressing.
I will say that this is being filmed on March 13th on a Tuesday, and I will be in class, Doctor.
Great. Yeah. But like I said, it shouldn't be really a criticism of younger people, because I actually learn a lot from younger people, as well as from, you know, my peers, and as well as older people too. I mean, I just think I learned something, and hopefully I'm able to impart something with everybody I meet, no matter who they are.
Okay. So you kind of already answered my next question of how do you learn best now that you're older, or whatever the preferred word would be.
How do you learn best?
So are there any subjects, academically or work-related, that you found easier to pick up when you were younger, and then same question when you were older?
I think when I was younger, I mean, at least for me, I was always interested in language, so loved English classes, and I liked science classes a lot. I was never very good at math, wasn't a big fan of math, and I think there are problems with the way math is taught anyway, because they never give you a sense of any practical application or why you would need to know what a parabola is if you're not going to become a rocket scientist, for example. What do I need to say now?
Oh, I don't need you to say anything particular.
Yeah, I mean, did I answer that?
Well, I mean, you just does math work better for you now? Are you an older adult, and do you catch math easier, and why is that?
No, the things that I like are usually, and the things that I feel better about as an older student are things that require some depth of thought. Really interested in ethics, really interested in interpersonal communications. Theater as a form of storytelling, and then exploring different ways of appreciating math philosophically and as an art form instead of just as a number crunching exercise.
So then you would say as you got older, in order to, yeah, I don't think you did it consciously maybe, to help you learn things better and more readily, you changed your perspective of it and just better develop the reasons why you'd want to learn something like that in the first place.
I just think when you get older, you have the ability to go broad with your thinking. A lot of people just kind of hit a particular topic and listen to what's said, pick up what they need, and kind of move along. I think people sit and take a little bit more time when they're older to really evaluate something on the deeper levels and the wider levels.
And this could compensate for lessened mental speed or all kinds of stuff.
Simply just bringing experience to bear. And then the downside of that, and the thing that I actually admire about people who are younger, is that older people can kind of get the sense that, well, I've been around the block and now I know everything, and they can actually close their minds off to receiving new information, or receiving information the way they used to before they got broad, you know. If they lose their perspective and just get caught up in ageism, I'm the old guy, I know everything, and I'm not going to listen to anything else because I already got my mind made up, then I think that would be the downside, and a lot of people go that way.
Do you think, and have you ever experienced it, that you've been apprehensive to be open to learning new things, or to admit that you need to learn new things because of your age?
Not for me, but I mean, yeah, for a lot of other peers of the same age, I see a lot of people start closing themselves down to learning new things because they have that sort of been there, done that mentality.
Well, that and there's an expectation for them to know certain things anyway.
Yeah.
And there's not even as high a literacy rate as we'd like among older people.
Well, it's like you mentioned at the beginning. I mean, you said, how old are you and how old do you feel? Obviously, there's chronological age, but I think the way that people perceive themselves is in a direct relationship to how they, you know, approach new information and learning. I think if somebody perceives themselves as having been around the block, and I'm 45 and I know what I'm talking about now, they might tend to close themselves off to a different approach or a new approach. And the thing is, people are discovering new ways of teaching and new ways of learning every single day.
That's a good segue into what I'm going to ask you about next. Besides your current education, if any, do you participate in any activities that might contribute to lifelong learning?
Yes, I meditate.
You meditate, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to be learned from going within.
Well, I mean, like, do you attend any, like, other classes? Do you, not necessarily academic, but, like, where you're learning new skills or something like that?
Well,
trivial or otherwise.
Yeah, theater's interesting because in theater, you know, you're dealing with thinking on your feet, acting and reacting. You're dealing with philosophy, you're dealing with English language, other languages, storytelling, becoming other people, experiencing the world as if you were somebody else. So you really get a very broad range of things as a theater major. I mean, I don't really know how that works for other things, but for my personal experience, that's been really beneficial for me.
I think one of your professors just passed us by
Oh,
for
yeah.
pool therapy.
Oh, my billiard therapist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think are some of the biggest positives of your engaging and learning across your lifespan as opposed to just leveling out at high school? Because most people don't even pick up a book once they graduate high school. So I know it seems like an obvious yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people stop reading when they graduate. Like aside from the newspaper. But anyway, besides, I mean, we've mentioned the really obvious ones, but do you think there are other major benefits of keeping scholastically or you know, some kind of academically engaged?
I'm always learning, so I don't really know how to address that subject.
You're not done yet, so you don't know how to answer the question.
Well, I mean, I've heard, I mean, your premise, I'm not sure that's exactly true, because I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but I know a lot of people actually start reading when they get out of school because now they don't have to, and they're not pigeonholed into maybe reading something they're not particularly interested in. I've heard stories.
I'm working in terms of my own generation, but maybe ours are a little different.
No, I don't know. You know, when I got out of school, I dabbled in college at a you know, at a young age, 18, 19, and I just hated it. Wasn't interested in it. I wanted to play, and so I spent the next 20 years or so playing. And then I finally got back to school, and then school was new and interesting for me. I guess because I was experienced on my own in things, and so college is very easy and very interesting to me now.
On the dean's list.
I feel like, yeah, I'm on the dean's list. I have a 3.9 GPA. I'm in the smart people fraternity, but I mean, the thing is, wow, bird attack. The thing is, from my perspective now, going to school, I'm almost amazed that anybody can fail. And most of the people who don't do well in school are people who simply don't pay attention, don't have respect for the professor, aren't interested in the classes, and don't attend. They wake up late, they leave early, they talk during the class.
Respect your professor, guys. And give me Birdie. Okay.
Birds are trying to eat my.
They're trying to eat your food. I almost swear it on the video.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like I just show up every day, and I'm genuinely interested in what's happening, and I think I failed a final in math. I failed a final, and I got a D on one of 4 tests, and I passed the class with a B simply because I was interested. I got to know the professor. I mean, there were no special favors. It's just that I just showed up every day and tried.
I've got 2 more quick ones because I don't have much left on this video. But what do you think are some of the greatest challenges you faced trying to keep learning at your age and as you grow older? Mentally or socially?
I don't have any challenges. I mean, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, you haven't experienced any sort of prejudice while going to school at your non-traditional age, as it were?
No.
Okay. Cool.
No, not at all.
Very good.
I don't even get any weird looks. They're too busy texting to notice me.
And finally, last question. What, if anything, would you like to have done to help achieve more learning in school or the workforce are there any sort of programs that you think would be able to aid people better as they grow older? Programs better suited or adapted for older adults?
I really think they need to adjust the way that they teach younger people. Because younger people are in this day and age, younger people learn differently. I mean, they are multitaskers, and so I think there needs to be a different approach to education in general. Here's the thing: education, the way it's taught in schools, is usually the byproduct of committee work. And committee work takes a lot of time. So by the time they come up with the idea, the people who are in school are now the next generation over. School is way behind in fostering a learning environment. It really should be an interactive process where students actually have some say in the way in which they learn. And they ought to teach different people learn different ways. They ought to explore that and try to adapt certain teaching styles to certain types of people instead of trying to fit everybody into a box.
So you feel adapting the education style would allow for would foster people to want to be educated, to want to educate themselves.
Some people
longer in their
learn
lives.
visually. Some people learn by hearing things. Some people learn by touching and interacting kinesthetically. And there should be different programs for different types of people.
All right, I certainly agree with you on that. And we're about to wrap it up here. We've got about 20 seconds left.
Okay.
Any closing remarks?
Live long and prosper.
Thank you very much, Tom Miller.